What's going on, nation? This is an NBA DFS podcast. I'm your host, Paulie D, and I'm joined by Mr. Stevie Brown DFS. You can catch him on Twitter at Stevie Brown DFS. What's going on, Stevie? How's your night going?
It wasn't too great, man. I got trapped with the Bucks there, but GPP have some nice lines going, so I'm gonna probably end up breaking even or so. Happy to get out of this 11-game slate into a 3-game slate tomorrow. We won't get murdered by like last-minute injury news or like Wolves and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
Yeah, 3 games. I wish we had a couple more, but it is what it is. Little disappointed. I was right on. My core was like the nuts, and I just had a dud from somewhere like Kent Bazemore or Eric Bledsoe, and a lot of lineups. And I have a couple that are up there with Doncic going. If he goes off, I'll probably win a couple hundred, and if not, I'll probably break even, win a little bit. But I should have done much better. My core tonight on DraftKings was Elf 8x, Nick Batum 8x, and Hassan Whiteside 7.5x.
Yeah, all of them smashed, man.
Yeah, so hopefully someone in the nation is doing well. Turn my night around if someone smashes. But it ended up being not as high scoring as I mean, in the end, the people who took down contests scored a lot, but there wasn't many guys who went nuts. Cat, I think, is going to be the highest scorer, but no one else even really came close to him. Like Steph Curry, Durant, Drummond, Ben Simmons. No one else really got up over 60 tonight. It was kind of like a mid-tier night. But it is what it is. We got a small 3-gamer tomorrow. I'm guessing Wednesday is going to be a pretty big one because there's huge tournaments on Wednesday. So we'll go through it, see what's what. I don't even know who's playing. Let's see what we got. I know the Knicks are on the slate, which is never a good thing. Yeah, so we got Orlando taking on the Knicks. Knicks finally broke an 18-game losing streak at home.
I still consider a loss for us there.
That is a loss. The Celtics taking on Toronto. That's a pretty good matchup. And OKC taking on Denver. That's a pretty good matchup. So 2 good games, and then an Orlando Knicks game. Orlando's been awesome lately, man. They're the hottest team in basketball. Hopefully they can beat the Knicks tomorrow by a lot and we can just continue losing. So let's jump in, man. Point guard. You're gonna be doing DraftKings, right?
Yeah, I'll do the DK side of it.
All right, I'll cover FanDuel then. Go down. It's 3-game slate. Just go all the way down. We don't gotta cut it off. Just take it off.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we're saying it's a 3-game slate. It's not going to be anything like today, 11-game slate, where we had a ton of injury news and a lot going on, even up until the last minute with Locke. There's still a few guys here that especially for point guard. On the upper end, Westbrook, of course. He's 11K, but I kind of like that he went at it with Jamal Murray a few times. So, he's already a hothead as it is. If he needs any extra reason to be aggressive, he has it tomorrow. So it's a smaller slate, and we've seen some insane upside from him, flashing an 80 DKP game. That came into double OT, but he had 45 at halftime, and he didn't even see a lot of minutes during that OT from fouling out.
Mm-hmm.
I like going at his raw points there. Westbrook for me up top. Definitely like Kyrie. It's a playoff preview matchup, kind of game you want to play up in, so I don't mind going him there. Jamal Murray definitely too. OKC lets a lot of these shooters get their shots off, and we know he likes to chalk. His minutes been trending down a little bit, but it's a smaller slate. It's gonna be an ownership thing for me too. If he comes in projected high owned, I'll probably be off him, and then I might find myself Jamal Murray.
Okay.
And then I might try to pivot at some of those other guys like Monty Morris, even Isaiah Thomas now, which is crazy. IT, he's only 3.8, but he saw 24 minutes last game. He came in a little bit of the blowout too. But if he's still going to be that cheap, he's going to see even around 20 minutes or so. And he shot like shit last game. I'll definitely have some interest in him there. Otherwise, a guy who stands out to me a lot too is DJ Augustine. Like Isaiah Briscoe is out again, right? Or doubtful at least.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, if he doesn't have that true backup, he's usually been a guy who floats between like the 20 to 24 minute mark, but he saw 27 minutes in a closer game and he smashed. Like, it's the Knicks, it's a great matchup for him. Smaller slate where I'm sure we're not gonna have a ton of true raw value. So I definitely don't mind having my fair share of him there. Otherwise, smaller slate is not a ton much more love there.
Yeah, not a ton, but there's enough options at point guard. Russ is 12-2 on FanDuel. Um, if you got the money, depending what other values there, I don't mind it, but I think I'd rather fade him on FanDuel, play him on DraftKings where you get like the triple double bonuses and whatnot. 12-2 is a lot. I'd rather pay 9-7 for Kyrie against Toronto. I like Kyrie in games where he's going to have to do well, and this is exactly that. So I prefer Kyrie from Russ. I'm guessing what do you call it? Kawhi Leonard's going to play, right?
Yeah, they said last game they rested him because he just came off that pretty hard game, and then they knew the intensity of like against the Celtics is going to be pretty high, so they wanted him to be like full strength for that.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Lowry's 8K. I'm not going to say absolutely not, but a little high of a price with Kawhi there. I don't mind him. Like, I like a lot of guys in this game, so I don't mind it depending what the rest of the slate offers. We'll see if he makes the top threes. I doubt it, but Kyrie's my favorite of these top three guys. Going down the list, Dennis Smith Jr. has been awesome for the Knicks. He's 7,400. I don't mind it. If you don't like him, you can look at Moody at 55. Definitely with you on DJ Augustine against the Knicks, especially without that backup. He's cheap enough where he can get you there, even if they do end up blowing them out. Isaiah Thomas is 3,900 on FanDuel. That's a punt. I don't mind that either. And that is probably going to be it. Yeah, so, if you want to save money, you got Augustine and or Isaiah Thomas. Or, like, if Briscoe's out, you could maybe even punt, like, a Jerian Grant at 3,700 if you want to punt the position. Kyrie's definitely my favorite over here. And then, Russ is fine. Lowry's all right. Dennis Smith Jr., Jamal Murray, Emmanuel Mudiay, the guys will kind of be picking between depending how much money we got based on these other positions. So let's move it over to shooting guard. Wow. On FanDuel, the most expensive shooting guard is Evan Fournier at 6K. What do you
I was
got?
going to say the same thing on DK. Most expensive shooting guard is Jamal Murray at 6K. And there's not even a ton like down low pay for it too. It's going to be, I think Jamal Murray's going to get a lot of ownership with like the Magic guys here. And that's going to really be it. Unless like something crazy happens, it gives us a lot of value there. But I do like, of course, want to target some of the Magic against the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Ross is 5'3", and we're looking at a small slate. We all seen and know the ceiling he has, so I don't mind taking some shots on him. And Timmy Fournier too. It's again that beautiful match we want to target. He's actually minutes have been trending up again. Where there was a stretch where he actually saw like 37 minutes continuously, pretty regularly, and then he dropped back down. Now he's trending up again towards like the 35 plus mark in closer games. So if he's gonna play that, and in this matchup where it's shooter's paradise, going into MSG2, I'll have a little bit of exposure to him. And then going down, I kind of like Trier. He's 3-6 on DK, which is weird because he's 500 cheaper than Kadeem Allen, who is actually sent down to the G League unless he's planning on being called up again. And with Ntilikina still out and Kadeem Allen in the G League, he's been getting some decent run. we know the ceiling he has. Like, I think he put up like a close to 50-point game earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
And again, on a smaller slate. What was it?
He's done it a couple times.
Yeah, it's a smaller slate too. Like, we're not going to have a ton of this true value. So I don't mind taking these volatile guys who can completely make or break the slate. If he's going to continue to see around 30 minutes, like, he's way too cheap to pass up on when we know the ceiling he has. Otherwise, like we said, shooting guard, it's going to be pretty chalky for the guys that are decent because these guys down low aren't great. That's all I'm really going to be going for. I'm not going to chase some of these guys like Terrence Ferguson or something like that for their ceiling day on a short slate.
Yeah, so like I mean, you got the two Magic guy on FanDuel's Fournier at 6K, Ross at 58. I don't mind either of them, but I think like I'll try to be a little different at shooting guard. Maybe one of the Celtics like Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown, again expecting like a closer game. I think I lean Smart on a site like FanDuel where he could get you a handful of those like steals and block peripherals that could like jump him up. Danny Green at 4,500. I almost never play, but like he's a guy that like can get hot shooting. I definitely like the Alonzo Trier call. He's 3,700 on FanDuel. That's like a really nice punt price. That's really it. I mean, you could take a shot on a Dennis Schroeder. 5,200. It's not that attractive. I think I'm gonna land on Marcus Smart and Alonzo Trier. I don't mind the two Magic guy. I'm just like, which one? And then does it stay close? Do you kind of like miss minutes for both if the game gets out of hand? Those guys are fine. You know, I think Schroeder is like if you're building a lot of teams kind of option. I liked Marcus Smart, and I definitely like Trier as a punt at 3.7 for this weak position. Move us over to small forward. See what we got there.
So starting up top, I have to like Kawhi a lot. It's a shorter slate, and again, he's priced pretty cheap, or they just rested him because they knew they wanted to have the intensity up for this game. He's only 9.2. I'm gonna like him a decent amount there, and we see a lot of these playoff preview matches either go very under or very over, with a lot of these players smashing. So brings a lot of appeal too, not only just because of the price tag, but this game is really stackable where we have a lot of these guys, especially in small forward guard position for both teams. Like even Markieff Morris, only 4.7, Jaylen Brown 4.6, Tatum 5.9. I'll probably cap, if I'm not completely game stacking the game, I'll cap it to like 2 guys, 3 guys max because they're not all hitting their ceiling together. But I do like definitely taking some of the pieces of the game there. Otherwise, Kevin Knox is one of my favorite plays so far. No matter the blowout, no matter close game build or what, he's been getting his run, and the guy loves to shoot. Like, I was making fun of him last game, watching him against the Spurs. I call him like Devin Booker 2.0 because like, it's every time he touches the ball, no matter where he is, like even if it's a deeper 3 or not, he's shooting the ball. So I don't mind that if his rebounds are there. Like, he's has an appealing ceiling. So I definitely don't mind taking him there. And the other guy from the same team too is Damian Dotson. Man, he's been catching fire as of late, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Last 2 games, so 9. He's 4.4 on DK.
Okay.
And I'm going to expect
5.5
another.
on FanDuel.
Yeah, I mean that's a little more expensive too, but on a shorter slate, I don't mind even taking that shot. He's starting to see like 35 plus minutes now. His field goal attempts have absolutely skyrocketed, where he used to be that corner 3 guy, that 3-and-D guy, and I liked him there, but now he's taking 15 plus field goal attempts per game. He caught fire last 2 games, he had 13 3-point attempts and just about 10. And I always love targeting guys who haven't really been falling into stocks because they fall into the one nice stock game and see a nice ceiling there. So I'm definitely going to try to have my share of Dotson. Small forward is really going to be it for me.
Yeah, I mean, my one concern with Dotson is he's been shooting like out of his mind, and like if that turns a little bit against like a long team like Orlando, who's got a bunch of guys that can get a hand in his face, it's risky. But at 4.4, like you definitely got to have a little. But on FanDuel, Paul George 11-6. I'll definitely try to have him. I mean, he's going to do everything for OKC against Denver. We like wings against Denver. I would rather pay 11-6 for Paul George than 12-2 for Russ on FanDuel. Kawhi at 9-6, I don't mind. We'll see if I'm able to get both these guys. Coming down, I don't mind Knox at 5-7. It's all right. I do have some interest in Will Barton at 52 against OKC. It's going to be a really fast game. Denver is really deep, so he's going to have to be very efficient, but it's a 3-game slate, and if he can get you to 30, 35, 6.5x, it could be the best point per dollar play at the position. And then that is like really it on FanDuel. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna try to go all the way up. You could try Jonathan Isaac at 6.5. That price just feels like very fair. I don't see him going for like way more than that. So I'd rather play Knox, even maybe Gordon Hayward at 53, or Will Barton, or just punt. Go down and grab somebody as your drop score at min price. But for sure, I'm going to play Paul George tomorrow, and we'll see what the rest of the slate offers. If we got enough to get to Kawhi, or if we play one of these guys in the fives like Will Barton or Knox or Hayward. Power forward. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, so I was saving Paul George for here on DK because the slate's so barren, and got to bring someone up there. But he's only 10-4 on DK, and going into Denver, obviously it's never that nice of a matchup. But he had a rough game last game where he saw just under 40 DKP. Still played his 40 minutes or so, but he shot 4 for 19. Didn't take his usual 3-point attempts. Like that just happens with the Colt. Like you start to give up shots and surrender some of your offense to other players, and let other players get rolling. That's what he did. So if has any one of his typical games now, he's Thunder's whole offense. So against more slate, it's kind of the game I want to stack up. So I'll probably have my fair share of Paul George there. Otherwise, like, the main thing I would say about this slate too, there's not a ton of guys like price wise that really catch my eye right away. But because of the slate, a lot of these guys are cheap enough to I'm probably gonna be game stacking most of my lines. Like I said, no one really sticks out right away as a price play, but every game here is stackable. Of course, the Thunder Nuggets gonna be tough because Jokic, Paul George, and Westbrook are the 3 most expensive players in the slate, and it's a 3-game slate where it'll be tough to find some value there. Like Boston, Toronto, Knicks, and Magic, everyone's relatively cheap enough to where you can stack these games up, and kind of just hope one of the games go off and your other pieces do well too. But sticking a power forward, Millsap, I'm going to love again. He kind of benefited from Jokic foul trouble last game, where he had that insane 55 DKP game, but it wasn't just the last game where it was a little bit of an outlier. His minutes trended back up now, where he's seeing around 30 or so, and he's been smashing. Small slate. It's an aggressive big against the Thunder. So I'm definitely getting my fair share of him there. I like him. Going down low too, I'm torn between. I like Vonleh with DeAndre Jordan out, but he really didn't even see the minutes last time. Even with Cornette getting DNP'd, they kind of just shoved every minute down Mitchell Robinson's throat that they could. But again, smaller slate, it's cheap. You can game stack it up. I'll have some interest in him there. And the only other guy really sticking out to me too is Plumlee. If I'm not gonna play Jokic in those game stacks with the Thunder, I'll probably try to get like Plumlee with Millsap there. So he's cheap, he's a great per minute player, and he's pretty easy to fit in.
Paul Millsap is 8-4 on FanDuel. That's just brutal. I don't think I can do that. This whole position is roughly.
He's 8-4 on FanDuel.
Yeah, 8-4.
That's all right. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's rough. Siakam is 7-5. That's tough. Aaron Gordon at 7. I don't mind. Serge Ibaka at 7K. I do like. Jason Tatum at 67. I can get behind. I don't mind Markieff Morris at 51. And then Markieff Morris is kind of interesting to me. What's he on DraftKings?
He is. You're saying Markieff, right? Not Marcus.
Yeah, the one on the Thunder.
He's 4K exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he got 20 minutes in his second game. He did pretty well. I see
And he
that
was
kind
in
of
a little
like,
bit of foul trouble there too. Shot awful, so
yeah, like I think there's more upside, if he shoots better, if he gets more minutes. I think he's interesting. I love this spot for him, like him going to this team. I think he's gonna have a good role with them. It's definitely a good pickup. I like that. He's 4-5 on FanDuel. Like, depending who your other punts are, maybe if he does terrible, you just drop him. But he's interesting. The two Morris brothers I do like. Tatum, I don't mind, and Ibaka. Those would be my top four at this position. I don't really like. I can't pay for Millsap. I don't really want to pay 7,500 for Siakam unless Kawhi were to miss. Um, man, this is not going to be a fun slate tomorrow. It's just
yeah. Like you can tell we're
Freaking-
saying too. There's no one who like price stands out. Like Markieff is actually pretty appealing there, 4K. But there's
yeah,
no one that like is wow. Like if last game, if we run it back and DeAndre Jordan's out, I'm saying give me every bit of Luke Cornett. But we just saw him get DNP'd, and we saw Henry Ellenson get like 7 minutes off the bench over we're not getting a single minute. So you never know what the hell the Knicks are gonna do. It's tough
yeah.
there.
It's the worst when you have to try and figure out what the Knicks are going to do.
It's only the same
Uh,
thing. You finally came back from injury, you got DNP'd one game, and you think with DeAndre Jordan out, maybe they try to get him back in, got DNP'd
yeah.
again.
Revenge spot too for Henzonia. I mean, I don't mind on FanDuel if that's your punt. Like you're just going to drop him if he does nothing, but maybe randomly he plays 30 minutes and he balls out. So, take us over to center. Tell me what you see over there. What's
So
your
center, of course, he's super appealing. But it's going to be harder to get to him. It's Jokic at 10, exactly 10K on DK. He has a really nice floor here in the matchup, but it's I can't imagine myself really jamming him in where there's a Corford there, 6'3", Millsap 6'2", a lot of these other guys who have been showing some nice ceilings for almost half the price of them, and it's a shorter slate where like the guards, especially we saw how barren like point guard, shooting guard is. I want to jam in Westbrook with one of those value guards, and then try to pay down at center too. But Mitchell Robinson, he's only 5'4" again. He only got like a K price increase, but he saw 30 minutes last game without DeAndre Jordan. So I think it was a 15 and 15 game. His block upside is tremendous. He can stay out of foul trouble. Like he will absolutely pay off the price tag and be able to exceed that. Even he got in some early foul trouble last game too, where I think he came in the game and within the first 10 seconds of being on the court, he got like 2 fouls, and I was like, oh great, here we go. Like Chalk Mitchell Robinson gonna kill me now, but he ended up staying out of foul trouble, playing really well. So I'll definitely go to him. I like him. Uh, Otherwise, too, there's Marcus Gasol got the start without Kawhi, still only saw 24 minutes, and still didn't pay out the price tag. I can't imagine playing him, but it's a shorter slate. If you think game stays close and maybe they try to push his minutes, like they might in the playoffs or preview, take a shot at him. But Steven Adams is only the guy really catching my eye here. He's been getting murdered by his rebound upside with Paul George
yeah.
and Westbrook both absolutely stealing all of his rebounds versus Westbrook. Paul George rebounding well now too. He's tough, but he's 5'6". They need the big body, of course, against Jokic. I don't mind playing him. Not my first choice, obviously. I think I'd rather play Mitchell Robinson for 200 less, of course, under him. But if it's an ownership thing where Mitchell Robinson's coming in as an absolute chalk, then I might just pivot a little bit to Steven Adams and some GPPs. That's really going to be it for me for center.
Yeah, I mean, we do have options here. Pricing is going to be the big thing, but there's some options. Like FanDuel, it's a little different world though. So you got Jokic at 11K. I do like him, but I think if I was going to pay up, I'd go to George and Kawhi before him. maybe George and Jokic though, just to have the correlation from the same game. You got Vooch at 10-2. Like it's fine. I'm concerned about him not getting his last rotation. Al Horford is 8K. That's like there's no profit anymore in 8K. I mean, he had a couple games there where he was crushing. I don't know if that continues. He's an option, but I think if I'm going there, I'm going to try to get to Jokic. You got Mitch Robinson at 6,500 with no DeAndre Jordan. He should get a ton of minutes, and on a site like FanDuel where you get 3 points per blocks, and that's like his specialty. I don't mind it. I'd love to play Marcus Gasol, but I just don't believe Toronto's going to give him enough minutes.
I want to believe at some point though don't you think they kind of have to stretch him out, because I don't think he's really going to be that. I got to imagine when playoffs come, he's going to be seeing at least 30 minutes or so, you'd think.
I mean, they never played Joval any minutes, though. It's like, I don't know if this coach is just doesn't like center. I don't know. But they got those three guys. They got Siakam, they got Ibaka, and they got Gasol. I mean, if you're building multiples, you can obviously throw them in. But, I don't think I'll do it. I think I'm going to be living with Jokic, Mitch Robinson, maybe punting with Nerlens Noel.
Mitchell Robinson's going to be probably insane chalk tomorrow, especially like we said, it's going to be tough to pay up at center where you kind of want to get Westbrook or Kyrie. Shooting guard, you don't have a damn choice where you're doing. You're paying down there, but unless if you want to stack OKC, Denver, and go Westbrook with Paul George, you're probably going to take some of these cheaper pieces like Plumlee, Millsap, and then avoid Jokic there. But I don't know. I'm going to be interested in seeing some ownership projections tomorrow on him. It's going to be. I'll probably go against the field there. Short slate. Go against the field.
Yeah, it's just different pricing worlds for FanDuel and DraftKings and the scoring. I mean, the scoring is really conducive to Mitch Robinson, but if you don't have the money for Jokic, it's either punt all the way down, just punt the position, because these guys are kind of all overpriced. I just can't see myself playing Steven Adams, and I mean, I don't mind my Mason Plumlee, but he's 5'4". It's like. He hasn't been getting minutes lately now that they're all fully healthy. So it's either Jokic, or I guess Horford or Mitchell Robinson. It's an ugly slate.
I might even take some shots back in Cornet now, for the prayer he doesn't get DNP'd or something.
Did we know he wasn't going to play? Yes, I didn't even play.
No, we had no idea.
No,
he ended up coming in
wow.
He was 25% owned in I think GPPs, and he was 30-something in cash games too. So everyone got burned by him, and no one you got to think DeAndre Jordan out. He's already starting power forward in most games. I thought they wouldn't want to start him because I don't know, but I didn't think he was going to DNP at that point.
Yep. Well, that is going to do it for the position by position. Before we do top threes, I'll remind the nation the MLB season pass is only discounted for another 3 days. February ends on the 28th, and then the price goes up March 1st. So grab that before it goes up. It happens every year. People buy the pass after March, and it's could have got it $50 cheaper. So jump on that before it expires. If you haven't tried us out and you're watching this podcast, $2.50 gets you a day pass. Gets you access to all the content except for the Slack chat, which you have to be a monthly member or better to be in. But the day pass will get you access to the expert poll, the model, the my cheat sheet, the cash game article, the GPP article, and I think that's it. Maybe there's some more stuff, but lots of content. You're playing NBA now, you definitely got to be on top of the content, and we do a
watch. On fire, man.
What?
Everyone, me, you, Dan, the content's been on fire.
Yeah, I know. I wish that I was having a much bigger night with the content I had today. I should have, but Luka Doncic's doing pretty well. I'm gonna make a little bit of money, but it should have been a huge night. But yeah, let's do top threes. See where we're at. Who you rolling with at point guard?
Point guard, Westbrook, Kyrie, and then my third was DSJ.
Yeah, on FanDuel, Kyrie is by far my favorite. DJ Augustine, and I'll go Jamal Murray. He's got the little narrative rivalry with those guys. Shooting guard?
Shooting guard, Jamal Murray, Terrence Ross, and my third one was Trier.
Yeah, I'll go Trier. I'll go Marcus Smart, and I will go Fournier. Small forward?
Paul George, Knox, and Dotson.
Yeah, for sure, Paul George. He'll be on every team for me tomorrow. I'll take Barton, and we will punt with Henzonia for the unlikely narrative revenge spot. Power forward.
Millsap, Horford, and Markieff Morris.
Millsap. Okay, yeah, cool.
Horford, yeah, eligible on DK.
Yeah. Over here on FanDuel, I will roll with Jason Tatum, Markieff Morris, and Marcus Morris. And last but not least, what do you got at center?
Mitchell Robinson, Jokic, and Vucevic.
Yeah, same three. Jokic, Mitch Robinson, and Vooch. And that is going to do it for the top threes and the NBA podcast. Before we get out of here, if you are listening on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, iTunes, Podbean, please do your part. Like, share, support, comment. Helps us out, goes a long way, allows us to keep doing what we do and bring you these podcasts on a nightly basis. Again, baseball's around the corner. Get that season pass if you have not yet. It expires March 1st. Stevie Brown, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, as ugly as we made this slate sound like it's going to be, I'm just excited to get away from these 11-game slates where everyone's in play with all this injury news. So I'm excited for the shitty slate. That's how bad things have got.
Yeah, I mean, after Wednesday, we got a couple nice, 6 to 8 game slates. So, this one feels pretty ugly, but we'll see. It always looks uglier in the beginning, and then by the time we get to lock tomorrow, you have a clearer picture. But yeah, that's it. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. For Stevie Brown, for myself, we are out. Peace.
Yeah.